Boston woke up to shocking news. RafaelDevers, the heart of the Red Sox, was gone. The trade sent shockwaves through Major League Baseball. Devers was supposed to be a Red Sox for life, locked in by a massive contract extension. That deal was a promise to fans. Their star would stay. Now that promise is broken, and the city is left reeling. Devers was more than a player. He was an icon, the smiling face of Fenway. He rose from teenage prospect to World Series champion, winning hearts with his power and joy. The idea of him in another uniform seemed unthinkable. For many, the trade feels like betrayal. This isn't just a transaction, it's the end of an era. The Red Sox front office, led by John Henry, made a calculated gamble. The future, they decided, was better without their best player. This move will define their legacy and spark endless debate in Boston sports history. Fans are hit hardest. They invested in Devers emotionally and financially. He was the bridge from legends like Ortiz and Pedroia to the next generation. Now, that bridge is gone. The team must explain why their hero is gone and convince a heartbroken fan base this was necessary for the club's future. The front office faces a daunting task. Restore trust and chart a new course. The city mourns the loss of its cornerstone. The Red Sox must now find a new identity. The Devers era is over, and Boston is left searching for answers. The shock will linger for years. Fenway Park feels emptier without Corrida. The question remains, was it worth it? The blockbuster trade didn't happen overnight. Tensions between Devers and Red Sox management had been simmering for months. Small disagreements and quiet frustrations built up behind the scenes. While fans saw the smiling superstar, cracks were forming in the relationship. The team's direction was a major source of conflict. Devers signed his extension expecting a championship push, but management let key players walk and prioritized financial flexibility. Devers wanted to win now. The front office didn't share his urgency. Communication broke down. Devers felt unheard and dismissed, despite being the face of the franchise. He expected partnership, but felt like just another employee. The joy faded. Beat writers noticed his demeanor change. He remained professional, but the weight of a struggling team and strained relationships took its toll. The divide grew deeper, setting the stage for a major confrontation. The foundation was crumbling long before the final trade. The disconnect was about more than money. It was about respect and vision. Devers' frustration became impossible to hide. The front office saw a superstar out of sync with their plan. The slow burn of discontent made a split inevitable. Both sides dug in, and compromise slipped out of reach. The trade was the final act in a drama years in the making. The writing was on the wall long before the deal was done. The end was only a matter of time. The breaking point came during a road trip in Kansas City. Team owner John Henry flew in for a private, high-stakes meeting with Devers. Henry laid out the front office's vision: build a sustainable winner, make tough financial decisions, and stick to the plan. Devers listened, unconvinced. He wanted to win now, not wait for a long-term rebuild. The most contentious moment came when Henry suggested Devers change positions again, a request Devers saw as disrespectful. The meeting, meant to heal, only deepened the rift. Devers left feeling unheard. Henry saw a superstar unwilling to buy in. After that, a trade went from unlikely to inevitable. The Kansas City meeting sealed Devers' fate in Boston. What was once strained became irreparable. The relationship fractured for good. The team's direction was set, and Devers was no longer part of it. The final conversation was less a negotiation, more a goodbye. The Red Sox and Devers were on separate paths. The moment for reconciliation had passed. The end was now certain. The issue of changing positions was a major flashpoint. Devers, a third baseman his entire career, took pride in his work at the hot corner. The team wanted him to move, first base, maybe DH, for defensive reasons. To Devers, this felt like a lack of trust and respect. He saw himself as a leader, not just a bat to be moved around. The front office saw a strategic baseball decision. Devers saw a personal slight. The repeated requests to change positions became a symbol of the larger disconnect. Devers felt undervalued, his strengths overlooked. The team focused on his weaknesses, not his contributions. The conflict over his position was about more than defense. It was about identity. The disagreement highlighted how far apart player and management had grown. Devers wanted partnership. The team wanted flexibility. The visions for his role and the team's future were fundamentally different. The position debate was the final straw. The tension didn't stay behind closed doors. It seeped into the clubhouse. Players noticed Devers' unhappiness, creating an uneasy atmosphere. Some teammates quietly sided with Devers, sharing his frustration with the team's direction. Others, especially younger players, tried to stay out of the conflict. The division was subtle but real, eroding team unity. Every loss magnified the problem, and the clubhouse grew tense. Manager Alex tried to mediate, but the core issue was above his pay grade. The environment suffered, camaraderie faded. The team's chemistry, so vital for success, was breaking down. The whispers grew louder as the season wore on. The Red Sox were no longer a unified group. The superstars' discontent became everyone's problem. The clubhouse was a team in turmoil. Insiders saw the warning signs long before the public did. Reporters noted the growing disconnect between Devers and the front office. Devers' frustration became public. His comments to the media were pointed, not generic. Beat writers interpreted this as a message to management. Things needed to change. The front office, meanwhile, stuck to their long-term plan, unwilling to bend even for a superstar. They wanted total buy-in, not dissent. Experts saw a classic conflict, a star in his prime wanting to win now, versus a front office focused on the future. Both sides believed they were right. The gap was unbridgeable. Insiders knew a breaking point was coming. The only questions were when and how. The trade was inevitable. The experts weren't surprised. When the news broke, the details stunned everyone. Devers was sent to the Dodgers. Boston got a package of top prospects and a young catcher. The Red Sox signaled a youth movement, betting on the future. For the Dodgers, it was a win-now move. Devers instantly became a lineup cornerstone. Boston's gamble. If the prospects develop, the trade could look brilliant in a few years. But prospects are never a sure thing. If they fail, the Red Sox will have lost a franchise icon for little in return. Financially, Boston shed Devers' massive contract, gaining flexibility. But it also sent a message. Even homegrown stars aren't safe. This could make attracting future free agents harder. The team saved money, but at what cost? The deal is a high-stakes bet on tomorrow. The front office's reputation is now tied to these young players. The Dodgers, meanwhile, are all in for a title. The trade changed both franchises overnight. Devers' departure leaves a massive hole in Boston. He was the team's best hitter and the face of the franchise. The offense will struggle without his power. The Red Sox must now rely on unproven young players. For fans, the loss is emotional. Devers was a homegrown star, a link to past glory. Many see the trade as another example of ownership prioritizing profits over winning. Rebuilding trust with the fan base will be a long, uphill battle. The front office is betting on a new core built from prospects. The team's identity has shifted, from star-driven to youth-focused. The present looks uncertain. The future is a gamble. Fenway Park is searching for a new hero. The Red Sox are in transition, hoping patience pays off. The success or failure of this trade will define the current leadership. A new era begins, one without Devers' smile or swing. Boston must find hope in the unknown. The Devers trade was the result of an irreparable breakdown. Devers wanted to win now. The front office prioritized a long-term rebuild. The Kansas City meeting made clear a split was inevitable. Position changes and communication gaps fueled frustration. Trust and shared goals vanished. The contract extension became meaningless amid philosophical differences. The Red Sox are now all in on youth and financial flexibility. Their future depends on the prospects they acquired. The front office must win back a skeptical fan base. For Devers, the Dodgers offer a fresh start and a chance to win. The trade closes a beloved chapter in Boston, opening a new one for both player and team. The landscape of baseball has shifted. Only time will tell who made the right bet.